Hello, Flosstube. This is Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches. This is a channel about cross stitch, for those of you who might not know. Today is my Flosstube my update number 330. And today is April 20th. I wanted to say today would have been my dad's 92nd birthday. He passed away not quite 2 years ago, it'll be 2 years in August. But today would have been his birthday. And so yeah, I've been thinking about him a little bit. This is a channel about cross stitch, for those of you who might not know. I want to say welcome back to all my subscribers, and welcome to anybody who might have come across this channel for the first time or whatever. So it's a channel about cross stitch. And as I was saying about my dad, but I got a little distracted. Today would have been his 92nd birthday. And so I was, been thinking about him. And after he passed away, I had started a cross stitch in memory of him, because I did one for my mother. Hold on one second. I meant to grab this before I got started and I forgot. This I did for my mother. My mother passed away in 2020. So I did this. It says, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted." I think that's what it says. Yeah, they shall be comforted. Yeah, there's comforted down there. This is a quote from Matthew 5:4. And my mother's name and her dates there, and a little willow tree that represents really all of my mom's siblings. And then these little sheep charms down here are all of us. Yeah. These, I think, are from my mom and dad, and then us 4 kids and the 3 grandchildren. So, yeah. I did this for my mother. It has Lady Dot Creates velveteen and chenille trim, but yeah, I did this. I think I did it. Yeah, it's 2/2 on the Ghana with DMC threads. But anyway, so I had done this one for my mother in 2020, and then shortly after my dad passed away, I started one for him, and I've kind of gone back and forth. I haven't worked on it more because it's very tiny. I was doing 1 thread over 2 on very tiny fabric. This is embroidery. It's just called embroidery fabric from Hobby Lobby, and so you can see that it's very, very tiny count. I want to say it's probably 46, maybe 50. I don't know. It's very small. The little bundle that they're in doesn't list the embroidery, doesn't list the count on there. So I'm just guessing, because I have another piece of fabric that's like 46 count, and this is about that size, maybe a little bit smaller. So I don't know. But so I'm doing 1 thread over 2 on this. And this just says, "I am a poor," because the quote I was using is this one. It's from an old hymn called Wayfaring Stranger. "I am a poor wayfaring stranger while traveling through this world below." And then there's a few other lines, but then the end of it says, "I am just going over Jordan. I am just going over home." And there's my dad's name and dates on there. So I had designed this originally, and I started it, and I rounded the corner on the border here. It like, is that as big as it is? And I recounted this to make sure I had done it right, and it is, because on this count fabric it's very small. But anyway, so today I just put in the few words. I was trying to relearn how to stitch on this tiny count fabric. But so, and this is just 1 length of thread that I happen to have of this color. So yeah, so I was looking at it, thinking that, you know, if I whether or not I wanted to use this. This is supposed to represent like my dad's parents and siblings, and him on this side, and then our family here, these little fishies. Yeah. So yeah, that was. But I was thinking about two different quotes. There's an actually a hymn in Spanish that my dad used to play on the piano. It was like the only thing he ever played, and he only ever did it by memory. You know, he could read music, but it was something that he learned. I don't know when. I don't know if he learned it when he was younger, if he learned it as an adult. I'm assuming. I don't know. But he only ever played it by memory, and so, like, you know, he would kind of do a couple of false starts, but there was like a little piano introduction and then the actual like hymn arrangement. And I've never heard any other version. I mean, another version of that, the same version of that, I should say. When my dad passed away and we were planning his memorial services, we were trying to look up that hymn to see if there was a recording of it. And there are, you know, there's some videos out there of it, but they're very different, you know, just different arrangements, of course. But you know, it's a lovely hymn. It's called Tras la Tormenta. And there's a couple of, there's a Ruben Blades album out there called Tras la Tormenta, and it's something completely different. But if you look it up under, you know, like with that Spanish title and under hymns or himnos, you could, you know, there's a few different versions of it in Spanish as well. But anyway, it basically says like, after the storm is the rainbow, after the darkness is the light, like that. So I was thinking about that would make an interesting quote, but I'd have to, like, you know, do a lot of research on it. And then there's also a verse that I like called this goes. I want to say it's from Isaiah, but I'm not sure. But it says it's the "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord" quote. And I thought about that one too. But anyway, so for now, I'm doing this Wayfaring Stranger. So yeah, so I just did a little bit of it today, and I think I'll probably work on it some more today in honor of my dad. And then, so now going on to other things that I did. I did a little bit of Give Greatly, a little bit more on Give Greatly. I went ahead and finished his arm, and I put in, because I just had this brown thread, I went ahead and put in the G on Give. And I think last time when I pulled the thread out, I had done his arm with 2 threads accidentally, and I pulled them out, and for some reason I was thinking it was a fancy floss, and it's not. It's just a DMC color. So I finished his arm, put his arm back in, and finished it. And I've been working a little bit on this grayish green color of the scarf, you know. So I think I had done up to here. So I just put in this one. And maybe I put, I don't know. I put this in, yeah. So I just did a little bit on that. And like I said, I started on this is the word give. Your greatness is not in what you have, but what you give. So I just did, yeah, the 1G there. And I stitched these instead of putting in little buttons, whatever. I just stitched them. So I still have, you know, all that white and the quote, and then of course his little hat to do. But yeah, so I just added a little more on Give Greatly, and that's a Silver Creek Samplers design. And this is that 46 count fabric. This is from Hobby Lobby, and they have a few packets of this in 46 count. And so I think this is either the same or maybe slightly larger than that other, this fabric. Yeah, so they're very similar. So I don't know if they're exactly the same count, or maybe this one is a little bit like 46 and that one's 50 or something like that. Anyway, so I did a little bit of that. And then I did more on the Ferret. This is by Cottage Garden Samplings. This is their Year in the Woods series. So this was my earlier WIPGO number, I don't know what, 21, I think. But so I had started on the Ferret, and I finished his paw. Last time I had it, I had like one line to fix on the paw. But I put in this little cabin. And other than like, there's like 2 other flowers, I think, yeah, that have this red color as part of the center. I still haven't put in the very center of it, but so there's 2 other flowers, one back here and one down here somewhere, I think, that have this little red center. But other than that, this is the only other place that red is used. So I went ahead and did the cabin just to get it done, because it was close enough to his neck that I could do it, that I could, count from there and not be off. But so that's, yeah, I just did a little bit more on Mr. Ferret. Yeah. And so that's coming along. I don't know when I'll get back to it. And then my other WIPGO call was the Swans. And this is number 18. And this isn't another one in the Year in the Woods series. This is number 2. That one, the Ferret, is number 1, 2, 3, 6, I think, 5. Yeah, this is number 2. So this one, last time I had worked on it, I think I had done these 3 trees, and then some of these snowdrops, and I had done the roof of this cabin. But I was really anxious to sort of try to get the actual swans again. And so I did. Actually, let me move this needle minder. I had it down here because I was using it. Sorry. Okay. So, like I said, I had done all, the trees and stuff like that beforehand, and I had done the roof of the cabin. So I done this one color of the cabin. There's like at least 2, maybe 3 other colors that go in here. But I did start on the one swan, and I just did I did both of the black faces and part of their beaks. There's another color just on the outside edge of their beaks. But then I did the one swan, I did the neck, and it gets down here, and there's on all of these designs, the animals, they have these little stars, florets, whatever you want to call them, on their bodies. Like on the swans, it's this, you can see it here. I did all of these because I wanted to make sure I didn't leave out the space, and that's what's going on here with the Ferret also. There's more of that, down here, and then in his tail. So that those little florets go all along his body and then into his tail. So I wanted, I had stitched at least the ones up here so that they're, in the right places. And then, like I said, there's more of it that goes on down here for the Ferret. So for the swans, on this swan, there's a lot of it on the neck, because this is the swan in front. And I didn't realize it. I hadn't really looked closely, I guess, at the design. But it's like, you know, of course, it's a pair of swans, a male and a female, right? Swans mate for life or whatever. So, and I hadn't realized that this is the female swan, and then this one is the male swan. And you can't tell exactly because this fabric is kind of a bluish color. It's almost the same as this, but the male swan is blue and the female swan is red, along with the other colors that are in there, the white and gold that are in there. But so these stripes you can see are kind of a rosy color, and the little floret things on the swan's neck are that color, and on the other swan they're blue, and then this is the blue stripe, the feathers, whatever, along with the white and gold stripes that are in there. And then there's another color. It doesn't show up very well in this photograph. It looks, you know, almost the same, but there's like a little bit of a slightly yellowish color right on the edge of that, and then there's more of it over here. And you can see that's what outlines, you know, part of it down here is that slightly yellow color. But I wanted to go ahead and put that in, and, you know, give me a little bit of shape. And there's, you know, more of it that goes on the outside of this and all that. But you know, I had also kind of gotten a little tired of doing white and white and more white. So I had gone ahead and put in those floret things. And it's a good thing I made a working copy, because, you know, it's very easy to lose track of all of the, you know, how many lines you do, and how, you know, where they're, you know, where they break up and how they, you know. And as a matter of fact, I did one line too few here, and had to go back and kind of add another line. It wasn't an irreversible mistake. It was just sort of, I interrupted. I thought I had done enough rows here. I hadn't. So I had to get, you know, in my working copy, I had to just sort of mark off what lines I had already done or whatever, just to make sure that I did them right. So, yeah, so that one is coming along. And I think I've only done 4 days of the 7 on this so far, because I've had, you know, other interruptions, and I've worked on those other projects a little bit. So yeah, I have a few more days to go on this. So I'm hopeful that maybe I can finish doing the bodies, maybe finish the swans, or do a lot, significantly more of the swans, because there's more like trees, and there's some pine cones and stuff up here in the top to finish it. And these are the sides, basically. This one is part of the fox. There's the fox. That was the first one in this series. But so this is the border between the fox and the swans. And then the jackrabbit goes over here, and I just had barely gotten a start on it. But it's on my WIPGO board for at some point to work on. So, but anyway, so this is number 2, The Swans by Cottage Garden Samplings. I have all of these on my, oh, God, I almost dropped those. On my WIPGO board, I think I have all of them over the course of this year. Yeah. I think, except for the ones, like I did the woodpecker, that set from this it's the woodpecker, the barn owl, and the bald eagle. They're the September, August, and July ones, I guess. I'm trying to, I can't put my eyes on it right now. Yeah. 7, 8, and 9. Yeah. That I didn't do this, the year that I started them, last year, I guess. I skipped those 3. I didn't start them. So I'm hoping that, so the woodpecker was a new start this month. And the other ones, the barn owl and bald eagle, are on here as new starts. So see how that goes. And then the other thing was that the other day, my sister and I went to Michael's. She had to get some things there. She was looking to see if they had what she needed. And I kind of think they did and they didn't. But while we were there, I went and looked at their cross stitch section, of course. And it's not, they don't have very much to offer. They do have a lot of DMC. And they have, what's interesting is they have those little box sets that DMC puts out every now and then. They have the little box sets that come like in the little plastic boxes that are just a set of special colors, or like Christmas colors and whatever, different colors, different sets of colors. As well as they have like a lot of pearl cotton. I think both sizes, number 5 and number 12 or something like that. They have, well, the 2 common sizes. I don't know if they're everything that DMC offers. I don't know. But they also have like those metal little box sets. Like they have a set of étoile. I guess all of the étoile colors that they have or whatever. Or I don't know. But it's kind of expensive for, but it's interesting that, you can, like I said, you can buy a set of étoile that way, and that way you know that you have all those colors, whatever. But they also have, it looked like, I didn't really look up close. I didn't see from where I was sitting, what they have, what colors are in those there. I think there were 2 other sets, but I didn't notice if it said any special reason they were sets of, I think maybe the newest colors, the low numbers, like 1 through, I think it's 35 or something like that. I think that may have been one of the sets, and I don't know what the other one was. But interestingly enough, they have a little box that is apparently DMC needles. DMC makes those like gold eye needles, and this was like a little box about that big of DMC needles. I didn't really look at it again up close because I have a bunch of needles, and it was a little on the not pricey, but more than I necessarily wanted to spend, and but I'm a little intrigued by it. The more I think about it, the more I think, maybe I want that. But it's interesting that it comes in, in a little box set. I don't know. So that's niggling in the back of my mind. But one thing I did do, they don't have, like I said, a whole lot to choose from there, but they don't have a lot of variety. And I was I was looking at all the sort of like instructional booklets that they have. Like they have all kinds of crochet stuff and knitting stuff, these little instructional booklets or whatever. They don't have anything for cross stitch. I don't know if there's really anything made, or just nothing that they carry there or whatever. But anyway, they so I just was, sort of curiously looking, and they don't really have anything much in the way of cross-stitch stuff, right? But they have a little bit of fabric there that's a little different than Hobby Lobby or Joann's. And they did have these larger sizes of 28 count. This one is Monaco 20 by 24. I took it out of the little box, but so, and this is a little bit stiffer, but Monaco, I like the texture of it. It's almost like, it always reminds me of denim a little bit, but the stiffness rinses out very, very easily. And like I said, this is white, so I'll probably dye it because I have some kind of a hang up about, I don't want to stitch on white. And then this one I bought. This is it's Charles Craft DMC whatever, Irish linen is how it's listed. And then it also has, it says even weave and Lugana on the bottom, so whatever. But this is also 28 count. So this is a little bit softer, this Irish linen fabric, and yeah. So, but it's 28 count also. And this is another, larger size, 20 by 24. And it says tea dyed. Yeah. So it has that 20 by 24. That different look to it. So yeah, and it's not modeled or anything like that. So and I think this is what I used. I don't know if it's 28 or 32 count. The Year in the Woods charts. But they're they were hand dyed by me. So I don't know if they were white to begin with, or if they might have been something like this, tea dyed to begin with. But that I don't know if I'll dye that or not, just because I keep saying, oh, I'm going to dye this, and I have a pile of white and off-white fabric that I haven't dyed, just because I haven't necessarily thought of something specific to dye them for to start. And I want to be more specific. I have a handful of fabrics that I dyed myself for. I don't know if I dyed them for a reason or if I just dyed them just to dye them. But they're not, most of them are not specifically set aside for a particular project. So I want to dye the other ones specifically for something. And right now I have so many things going on. I don't know that I have any new starts in mind that I want to do right away or whatever. So yeah, so that's why all those things are pieces of fabric are just languishing right now. I wanted to, I don't know if this, oh no, wait, shoot, had it in my hands and then I lost it. Hold on one second. There it is. Okay. I got it right. That's a picture of my dad. Yeah. My sister sent this to me this morning. It reminded me of, yeah. That's a really nice picture. That was when she took it to church one Sunday, and so I don't have, that's one that I don't have. So, yeah. Yeah, that's my dad. So I think that's all I have this week. I'm going to work a few more days of work on the Swans, and then whatever else. The world's my oyster. For the until the end of the month, I've got time to do whatever. And probably I want to say the May rabbit. None of the, I've finished January, February, and March some time ago, and then I just finished April. So I'm trying to do I put the rabbits on my WIPGO chart, and I didn't put a specific month, on them, because I'm waiting until they get called, and then I want to do them. So the December one was already called, and I want to say looks like October, and I worked on the August one. I don't remember if that was called or if I just did that. but anyway, so I want to, yeah, it was called, I chose it. Yeah, in March. So so I want to sort of, you know, if it gets called, whatever, if one of the rabbits gets called, or maybe I'll just squeeze it in there, so that you know, I can get more of them done this year. You know, we'll see how that goes. So today's the 20th. So in a few days, on the 25th, which is what, Thursday or something, will be the new numbers for WIPGO. And we'll see how that goes. We'll see what comes up next. Anyway, I think that's all I have for now. Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's all I have right now. So, like I said, I have a few more days of working on the swans, and then we'll see what goes on by next Saturday. So that's it. So, yeah. Until then, just, you know, happy stitching, and thanks for watching, and I will see you next Saturday.